This is Greg Troutwine. I'm with Maritime Reporter TV. We're here with Jim McCaul, International Maritime Associates, IMA. And Jim, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's shift to something that's a little near and dear to our heart, the maritime industry. And again, I know you have a long history in this sector as well. Shipbuilding in the United States, when you look at it today, what do you see?
Well, there's not very much, but there's only several shipyards left compared to the old days when there were shipyards on all three coasts very actively producing ships. And in fact, if you go back to World War II, this was an enormously productive country to build ships. But shipbuilding moves around. It was very active in this country in World War II, and then it shifted to Japan in the 60s, and into Korea in the 70s, and then to China in the, 90s or 2000 period. And each country has had its own share of problems trying to keep the shipbuilding activity going. China is now having its own set of problems trying to rationalize their shipbuilding base. So there's a lot of shipbuilding capacity in the world. And one of the problems with shipbuilding is once you create it, it's kind of hard to, the yard may close, but the facility remains in, like down in Brazil, like the old Ishibras yard gets reactivated, brought back into operation. In the U.S., there's a combination of building some ships for the Jones Act. There are a number of tankers under construction at this point. It's a question of where that's going because the increasing amount of shale is creating a demand for tankers down in the Gulf of Mexico, but it's possible at some point the shale will grow to the point where the crude will be directly exported, and then it could go off in non-U.S. built ships. But for the time being, there's a demand for coastal tankers. Other than that, there's the usual requirement for lots of domestic vessels, harbor tugs, small passenger vessels, all sorts of small craft that'll keep the workboat shipyards active. It's a big market, but it's not like, say, you'd have to go back to the 50s and 60s to find, well, actually the 40s to find the real production in this country.
Again, the political question with the new administration. I remember when I entered this industry, went back into the Ronald Reagan and the 600-ship Navy. When you look at U.S. Navy shipbuilding and the new administration coming in, what do you think the possibilities are for reinvigorated naval shipbuilding in the U.S.?
I think there's a possibility that the naval shipbuilding will increase. I know the administration, Mr. Trump is talking about this, but it'll be a question of looking at where the priorities are. I know there's a lot of interest in spending money on cybersecurity and things like that, and Trump is already talking about challenging the the F-32, the Lockheed contract on the aircraft, and the Boeing contract on the plane they're building for him in the future. It's a question of whether the new Secretary of Defense, the new president, will look at shipbuilding as naval ships as really a priority or not. At the moment, everything's being talked up as a priority, but every aspect of defense has to be increased. But sooner or later, they have to make some decisions. And it'll be a question of what's a higher priority, building another aircraft carrier or increasing cybersecurity. And I don't think that question's been answered.
Okay. That's very good. Again, Jim, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Absolutely. And this is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV.